Arizona for 5 minutes, Mr. Gosar.
Yes. Mr. Eger and I happen to be Basque too. My mom's maiden name is Zeramuspi. So I find it very interesting. There's something about the Basque blood, isn't there? Something about that? So on grazing, I got a question for you. Have you ever thought about how the Taylor Grazing Act would affect grazing in your area?
Yes, sir, but could you elaborate on that, I guess?
Yes, because the Taylor Grazing Act actually limits the size of monuments, because this is the Taylor Grazing Act basically says that you must graze and that grazing must be improved. You must elaborate on, if you got minerals, you got to utilize those minerals. If you have energy, you have to elaborate on those energy aspects. And if the grazing acts are there, they have to be improved. And then once again, timber sales have to be monitored so that you have a constant influx of dollars. Now, why I say that is I think Mr. Houston, I think is his name, here brought up the FUTMA. Now, FUTMA, they took the Taylor Grazing Act in whole and put it right inside FUTMA. Now, I know the agencies really detest this, but Congress really has the only authority over public lands. Anything over 5,000 acres, anything of duration over 2 years has to come from Congress. So I think you're going to see a lot of stuff start to change a little bit because, our area has to be put to work. That these are meant to be done. And for the leasing of grazing, you had to improve it. And if you ever take the map of the Taylor Grazing Act applications, there's a lot of red out there. It's not being used, okay? So I just want to allude that to you. Supervisor Wilson, I got to say thank you very much for being here, flying all that way over. Can you tell us a little bit how this is our second part of our land exchange, right? How did the first part go?
Mr. Gosar, thank you for that question. The original conveyance of 5,889 acres occurred in May of 2020. We've been working with the developer since then and prior to that. But the big holdup has been the 10 West link transmission line. There was no point in building photovoltaic arrays until access to the market was there. The 10 West link went operational in June of 2024, about 5 months ago. The 500 kV switchyard is well under construction, anticipated to go into operation in January. So right now we have 2 battery energy storage projects of the 4 that are under construction. 2 of the 4 photovoltaic distinct projects on the property are well into permitting. They'll be moving into construction just after the first of the year. Substation to feed into the Cielo Azul switchyard is in permitting also. And things are moving pretty fast. On all of those projects, there are contracts signed with the off-takers that have deadlines. So
there's a new step in Parker, isn't there, in La Paz County, based upon this? There's a new step that people are excited, aren't they?
yes, there's a number of other solar projects throughout the county that we feel that the area that we initiated with the conveyance is probably the most ideal location, and we're hoping to expand that through the HR 8517.
Now, I have other bills, and I have a HERD Act. So what Representative La Paz for quite some time. And one of our ideas has been to convey back to the people land that cannot be utilized. This is nothing new. Harry Reid did it out of Nevada. How do you think this would work for smaller acreages, giving them back the economic power like La Paz got by giving this acreage back? You had to buy it, but getting it back to you.
I know there are areas in the town of Quartzsite, areas in our upriver north of the town of Parker, and areas in like the Bouse corridor that are marked for designation. People are reluctant to initiate purchase of those or lease of those because of the time constraints that it takes to get that through the process and be able to occupy the property.
Gotcha. And just got a couple, 1 second, Mr. Young, being the cattle growers, I'm from Wyoming originally and now in Arizona. Have you looked at the Taylor Grazing Act?
I'm a little bit familiar with it. I know that it's the basis of FLTMA and the way we graze now.
Okay, well, that would be my suggestion. Look at it very carefully. I yield back.
Gentlemen yields. I would encourage